Everybody, this is a special episode. We're doing things different today. I've been chatting with this guy over here, Matt Medeiros, the one and only. And he and I, we've been talking about some spicy subjects, and we said we should talk to the people about these things. And then it went back and forth, like, whose show are we going to do this on?
You said let's go down to the people, and I said, Matt, I'm already here with the people. You are up there. You wanted to come down. I'm already here.
That's where I've been the whole time. What are you talking about? But we were like, whose show are we going to do it on? Your show, my show? I was like, why aren't we just doing it on both of our shows, Simulcast? And that's what we're doing. Simulcast? Does anybody use that word anymore? I'm dating myself.
Duplocast? I don't know. While you say that, let me just make sure it's actually streaming on my channel. It is. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, good.
It's working.
So, hi, everybody on the WP Minute. This is the Matt Squared Report.
Oh. So you're aging yourself with that, Matt, because I haven't really promoted myself as the Matt Report, though I do solo shows, audio only, on the Matt Report podcast as a soapbox podcast for myself, as if I needed another one. But I do throw some ideas out there that aren't just WordPress, but tend to be.
That's fun. I don't listen. I'm sorry.
That's fine. That's okay.
Yeah. But I would love to get some of that.
That's what matters.
Yeah. I'd love to get some of that soapbox energy here today. That'd be great. So we're on the WP Minute right now. We're also on WP Product Talk. This is like two audiences all wrapped up in one. It's actually really probably mostly the same audience, just in one spot this time.
And the cool thing with YouTube, what we can do after is tag each other's channels on that specific video so people can subscribe and get us in stereo.
I have always wanted to do that, so that's a good excuse.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Mm-hmm. Well, we got several things we wanted to talk about. Some fun ones, some spicy ones. I want to start with the spicy one.
Have you seen the WordCamp 2026 website yet?
I saw some noise about it.
We don't have to start with that useless banter. We can move on to something more valuable.
There's always noise about something. But I actually really want to get into the whole thing, your most recent rant about what's going on with YouTube viewership and sponsorship and advertising and all of that, because it is a good subject for us, because as you know, we're at Product Talk trying to get to 10,000 subscribers. And I am learning that you absolutely can just like buy subscribers 100%. Like, it's not hard and it's not expensive at all. It's cheap, actually. It's super cheap. And I'll talk more about that in detail.
Things with no value usually are super cheap.
Yeah. But like, what's your take on that? Well, I mean, folks here probably have already seen your take on it, but give us a nutshell. What's your take? You're upset about this.
Oh, yes, my friend. I mean, the one thing that I do defend in this space is anything that impacts WordPress media, the sustainability, the survivability of somebody truly trying to make a go at WordPress media, not YouTuber WordPress, not newsletter WordPress, like media. Like you're taking this with a real serious professional approach, which I feel like we do at the WP Minute. I have a team that I pay. There's costs. We're trying to do this the right way. Yeah. And if I go back to my days, which we'll talk about later as well, in podcasting, in the audio industry, capital P, capital A, being in that space, and to which I still analyze extremely closely. I mean, I have a podcast newsletter and all this other stuff. So authenticity, true audience, true impact of media and content. You know, at the end of the day, when the boss goes, did that actually work for us? Like when we sponsored that podcast or channel, did that actually work for us? Because newsflash, things are super competitive these days. And as my business runs on sponsorship dollars, is my model, folks are always saying, hey, Matt, we'll re-sign with you again, but we need to see something, right? So I work extremely hard with my sponsors, with my audience, to build value. And the thing that just irritates me the most is when you look at stats of a YouTube channel just flatline for a year, 6 months, and then suddenly it's 90,000 subscribers. And all you have to do is look at their YouTube channel and go, wait a minute, your last video had 50 views. This one has 300,000
Yeah.
about a topic nobody cares about that much. What's going on here? And the 1-2 combo is on the backside of that. Like, if you want to buy subscribers or buy traffic or do ad placement, that's fine. Where I was going with the being in the podcast industry proper is there's a whole gray market built around this, right? When celebrities are launching podcasts, they have sales teams for their advertising dollars.
Yeah.
And there's whole gray markets. It's been reported on by Pod News that you can go buy downloads from people playing little video games, and celebrities do this, and it just inflates numbers, but they're not true listeners. And the 1-2 combo is when a brand comes into the WordPress space and sells sponsorship dollars, the stuff that, I don't know about you, Matt, but I fight really hard to get and earn and keep. They sell sponsorship dollars against fake numbers. And suddenly, out of nowhere, they go, well, we're the biggest podcast in WordPress. Where have you been for the last 15 years?
Yeah.
Right? And that's what gets me the most, because our sponsors come to us with how much more views, how much more you can do. There's only so much we can do.
Yeah.
And I mean, buying ads is not working. You're just spending the money to inflate the numbers and then flipping it to the sponsor. So that is the biggest thing. And morally, and I'll give the mic back to you in a second, morally, I just like, why do I want to inflate my numbers when the reason why I do a podcast or a YouTube channel or a newsletter is so I can talk to people? Like, I want to talk to people to really find out what's happening. And sure, the promo side of it, whatever. But if you're going to butt that up against selling ad dollars against that, that's where I'm just like, I can't have this because you're taking food away from me. And that's how I feel.
Yeah, no, I get it. There was a couple different comments on Twitter. I think you had this conversation in a couple spots, but on Twitter, Kevin Geary really highly agreed with you overall. He was like, why would I spend money for those things when, I'm just trying to talk to my audience essentially. And his audience grows organically just fine. So he's fine with the numbers he gets. He gets good numbers, better numbers than I do,
Yes.
Whereas Seahawk responded and they were like, well, they didn't love the way that you said it's bots. And they were like, it's not bots. We just paid the advertising money, and it's there, and it's a mechanism that anybody can use. And that's what we did. And it's fine. Like, is there actually, if it was problematic, let's say it this way, devil's advocate, if it was problematic, why does YouTube enable it? I guess because they want the advertising dollars, and they want their creators to feel like they're getting value out of the advertising dollars that you're spending. I can dig into a little bit of that because I've done my own experiments here, but like, it is a mechanism that's totally legit. It's not a legit thing.
Right.
So, but
yeah, I mean,
you got to narrow that in a little bit.
I guess the issue is one, and these are the things that you don't have access to, is it just YouTube's mechanism that they're using? Is it just AdSense or the AdSense network that they're using? Or are they doing it in some other way? In that thread, which, we don't necessarily have to link up or whatever, but I have the email screenshot from him responding to me saying, like, I have a very aggressive marketing team or something like that. So it's just like, oh, so what other ways are you doing it? Because again, I saw this in the audio industry where people are placing like a pixel in an ad, and then it delivers the podcast episode like wherever they go around the web. So it just gets these like inflated numbers. Like, there's a million different ways. I talked to a company that would guarantee that this not too long ago when we were launching a new podcast for Gravity Forms or for Rocket Genius, They guaranteed Spotify and Apple subscribers. It was basically $1.25 per
Hmm.
download. And he was just like, I had the sales call with him, and he said, I can guarantee as many as you want. It's just how much do you want? How much do you
How
want to
much do you want to
spend? And
pay
I'm
for
just
it?
like,
Yeah.
I mean, how do you guarantee that I'm going to get these subscribers? It's just a very gray market. And look, at the end of the day, it's a house of cards, in my opinion. And eventually, whatever you're charging, it's a short-term gain, right? For these
Yeah.
folks who are doing sponsorship dollars and going, look how much we have. And then when that sponsor comes in, they go, what kind of meaningful return do we get on this? And it's nothing because
Yeah.
it's really the same size audience as maybe you and me, and somewhere some delta between you, me, and Kevin in the WordPress space.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, it does make me think personally that like if I'm going to sponsor or if I'm going to be a sponsor of a show, what I want is links in the description, maybe even ask for a link in the very first comment of the video, and that it's a link that I know that I can attribute to actual traffic in one form or another. Because to me, that would equate to like somebody who actually was watching on a device where they could click and come to my website, and if I could see like, okay, there's 10,000 views here, but I only got 3 clicks, that doesn't make any sense. Something's wrong, you
Right.
know? But if I got 10,000 views and I got 1,000 clicks, all of a sudden I feel like that is valuable.
Yeah.
Now, that said, Matt, do you think you can drive 10,000 views for one of your sponsors and get 1,000 clicks on the YouTube comment? Because I don't think I can do that. Even like I don't think I can do that. Like,
No, like I don't think anyone in the WordPress space is going to be able to do that with the content and with, what the coverage is. I mean, you can certainly get 10,000 views on a YouTube video, right? Like,
yeah,
there's that's a proven thing. I have that at the WP Minute. I'm sure you have it on your channel as well. Good SEO, good topic, good video, whatever. But to drive, we don't have to go too deep on this, but the larger sentiment for 2026 from what I'm hearing from sponsors is a lot of people want that ROI on their ad spend. Basically, they
yeah,
want more clicks. And I don't blame them for that.
yeah,
But also, like, newsflash, content and traffic is down for everyone,
yeah,
right? So their issue is an everyone's issue. And what these folks want is just more clicks to the site, because it's just level there's many layers of problems here, but they just want those clicks. And what I try to target, and I'm sure you do as well, and maybe anybody who does sponsorship wants this as well, is you want that brand sentiment, that brand awareness from a trusted voice, because your widget that you're selling, people aren't going to want to hear it from the brand, right? They don't want some spokesperson or ambassador from the brand. They want like the true story, or the human side of it, and they want it from somebody else. Like, that's why YouTube is so big and podcasting is so big. People want to hear this stuff from somebody else. They want it behind the scenes. They want it cracked open. And that's why you should work with with the WP Minute, or Cromwell,
yeah,
or the repository, or whatever, because you're going to get that kind of uh, approach to content. And it's ebb and flow, and we'll see a return on it eventually.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think it's still a big subject worth cracking. Still, I will say I appreciate the experimentation that's happening in terms of like using advertising money for YouTube purposes in different ways. I also sympathize with your point that it's like, well, you can't just like say that you can't just get a whole bunch of sponsorship money for videos and then inflate the numbers so much just with advertising that it feels not totally genuine. Um, but I just
And
still
but and
do
I
think
will
that.
acknowledge that that's how a lot of the industry works.
Oh, for sure.
Like, I totally acknowledge that's how big media works. Again, I lived it in the podcast world. I saw
Yeah.
studios do this, et cetera, et cetera. And again, I have no problem with Matt Cromwell going, "I wanna boost this video. I want to get this in front of more people. The real issue is just like, we're the biggest podcast in WordPress, and I'm charging sponsorship dollars against that.
Yeah.
There's nothing I can do about it, but morally I will stand up to it because it affects us, right? Or
Yeah.
my
There's
team,
only
my business.
there's only so many sponsorship dollars to go around in the WordPress space,
Correct.
and folks are going to get choosier and choosier.
Mhm.
But in many ways, I'm not like a hyper capitalist, but in some ways, this is actually the way the market is actually beneficial, because what that's going to do, it's going to make us all think harder about how we can drive more value for our sponsors.
Correct.
Right? Like, we're going to have
Correct.
to get more creative. We're going to have to be able to show that value more. Um,
Correct.
yeah,
Correct. Yep.
I mean, and I think that that's worth doing in the WordPress space specifically. I think it's a big deal, and I don't think anybody necessarily has cracked the ability to actually drive really good sponsor value. The conversations I hear with the sponsors, because I've worked for the sponsors, I've worked against the sponsors. I talked to a lot of people who sponsor a lot of things, and I've never heard any of them say, I know that every single one of my dollars is well spent when I go and spend it over here on X or
Yeah.
whatever.
I mean, attribution in marketing, I mean, my God, like how long have people been trying to push that boulder up a hill?
Yeah,
And it's just not how it works. It's unfortunate. The real issue is the economics of WordPress and or the WordPress economy is we don't have like auto industry, pharmaceutical industry, sport industry dollars here, right?
yeah,
It's
yeah,
like, consumer electronics, like all like these are industries where other industries are built on top of. I mean, my God, the ads that go into politics and sports and autos and farm is ridiculous. And it supports a whole ad industry. It supports a whole section of like Hollywood and celebrities. In our space, we don't have that. So, and the budgets aren't there for most of these companies. And let's face it, the hosting companies are the ones with the largest budgets, aside from like the 12 biggest plugins companies in the world.
yeah,
Um, there's not a lot of movement for us, right? And so the dollars are just trying to be accounted for more. But you know, if we were in a different space, potentially people are saying we're supporting like half the dollars go to supporting you for just doing the work, right? And the other half goes to, can you please get us something out of this? Like
yeah,
that's
yeah,
that's how I break it down, right?
yeah.
Um anyway, we can.
That's the one. Okay. Well, I want to bring a little bit of detail just from my experimentation. As folks on Product Talk know, we are on this path to get 10,000 subscribers. We're going to get there on Monday because I did one ad, and I feel gross about that. Like,
I love it. And we're
yeah,
gonna get there by my calculations Monday.
yes, yeah, absolutely. And the so but there's a huge difference in the experience, because as we were growing the YouTube channel, and now be clear, like, Product Talk is across Spotify and Apple, and people watch it in different places or listen, and things like that. And our website gets traffic. Like, I have lots of data across the whole spectrum of things. But when it came to the YouTube stuff, it was always interesting to me, that I was getting, a subscriber a week. And I knew that because YouTube would give you a notification. You just got a new subscriber. You just got a new subscriber. And it was like, oh, cool. Nice little gamification. I love it. We turned on an ad for subscribers, a subscriber oriented ad. And all of a sudden, I got 1,000 subscribers in a couple days. And I did not get one notification about a single one of them. That to me, it's like really obviously clear, the difference. Same thing when it came to comments. We don't get a ton of comments on our videos, but I noticed the other day that we had a bunch of kind of like spam comments on some of the videos. I went through and deleted them all. I never got notifications about those comments. Why? Because they're not real accounts. Is my best guess.
And,
So the
and how does that make you feel if like whenever you started the experiment, let's call it 7,000 subscribers, and then by Monday you get 3,000, like you've achieved the number, right? The 10,000 goal, but
Yeah,
like
but
when
what
in the
does it
back of your
mean?
head, you're like,
Nothing.
are these? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's why right now I'm in the middle of pivoting what I believe to be the value of the channel. I want to try to grow the channel in a way that feels more meaningful. So I'm looking at different metrics now. I do think watch time continues to be probably the most important metric. And I would love for channels to talk more and more about watch time overall, because I don't think viewers is necessarily as reliable. And I definitely don't think subscribers is as reliable anymore. I do think likes can be reliable because it's not one of the ones that you could just buy. And that's one of the ways you can see if the quality of a channel based on like views compared to likes and comments. I think comments continue to be generally valuable unless they're like these really bot driven comments that I had to clean up the other day. But I think watch time to me is a really important metric that I don't see enough people talking about. I don't know, Matt, what's your take on that?
Yeah, this is the big debate in podcasting as well, is should the industry do away with the download? And the industry doesn't do away with the download, because the download is a thing that's automatic, and the thing that, if it did go away, this house of cards that has been built on downloads would collapse, and there'd be a
Yeah.
lot of people going, "Oh, so you actually don't have that listenership."
Yeah.
Um, so I totally agree with you about like the view time. To me, I look at, engagement, and um, I think for the where I'm broadcasting this is the WP Minute tutorial channel. It's the biggest channel that I have. And that's
Yes.
all like tutorial stuff, and it's all like SEO driven stuff. So I like to see, you know, for me anyway, I like the long tail of like, is this video continuing to get a few thousand views, every couple of months or whatever, like whatever it is. And to me, like that's what I look for as well, because that means that people are searching for it and finding the solution, and oftentimes the bellwether for success for me is the comment that comes in and goes, okay, you saved me a bunch of time. I've been researching this and you have the answer. That to me is my satisfaction with the YouTube channel.
Yep.
I guess, I mean, I've said this a million times for people who have watched me, like, I have never set out with any kind of promotional or growth strategy ever in 15 to 18 years. It's simply publish the content that
Yeah.
I want to talk about. That is
Yeah.
my only strategy. And yeah, there are people who tell me that that's foolish. And I've talked to YouTube strategists before, and they're like, "Well, you got to do this
Yeah.
with the thumbnail and this with," and I don't have time. I just want
Yeah.
to put out the content.
Yeah. But you also do content for Gravity Forms, right? And they want to grow their stuff, right?
Right. I'm not the one who runs the YouTube
Yeah.
channel.
Yeah.
Somebody else does, but
Yeah.
I do attribute to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it is something that I'm continuing to try to dig into because I do think a lot of product shops out there want to understand how to leverage YouTube the best. And like, I am definitely going to say, yeah, you can buy subscribers if you want, but I don't think you're going to get the value out of the channel that way. Like, why do you want to put your product content on YouTube in the first place? It's probably to get folks engaged with your brand and to make them consider installing. So let's focus more on the clicks in one form or another. Um, yeah, that's my take right now. We actually had a couple other subjects we wanted to talk about. We only
Yeah,
set
man.
apart 30 minutes for this thing, and now we got
30 minutes, Matt. I need more time than 30 minutes unless
we
you
got
have.
more time. We got more time. I think that we got more time. Hold on, did I squeeze you in between too many things? Hold
Oh,
on.
Jesus. I mean, this is,
Oh no, I'm
here's the
fine.
you have to
I got
return to your throne.
I got stuff to do. I got people to talk to. Um, Next one we want to talk about is that you and I both have been experimenting with some. I've at this stage I hate the term vibe coding. I do think that
Yeah,
that means something. That is a word,
sure.
but it is
Yeah.
not what people are doing. As even I'm not a full stack developer, but I know how to code, and I think what I'm doing is developing a plugin. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I don't know, Matt. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, I would the vibe coding thing is, a nice tongue-in-cheek phrase. It meant something 2 years ago, year and a half ago.
Yeah.
And I think it's changing. This is a real deep conversation. It's like, how fast is AI iterating? And you and I are old enough to remember the days of like when you coded WordPress websites and sold them to clients. You were doing everything by hand. Then ThemeForest came along and they had all these prepackaged themes, and you could buy a complete site for $79. Came with all the plugins. You're like, oh, now I could just like replicate this. And then site origin, page lines, thesis, then Beaver Builder and Elementor, and like we saw this rocket ship ride of like
there was like a composer mixed in there somewhere.
Yep. Visual Composer, right? Like all of these things.
No, Conductor. That was it. Conductor.
Oh, Conductor. Yes, that was me. Yep. Hi, Zach Katz. And so we've seen this. We've seen. I mean, go back to front page with Windows. This constant evolution of folks of software and how to make it easier for humans, right? Like we're in this next evolution cycle where, yeah, I know it pisses a lot of people off that it's just like a person who doesn't engineer and doesn't develop can go to a Claude Code and develop a complete WordPress plugin without like writing the lines of code. But like you, I understand it. I understand the requirements of like a scalable solution, a secure solution, user interface, and all this stuff. And newsflash, there are so many. I was thinking about this before we got on the call today. There are so many WordPress plugin developers who can develop a plugin, but don't know how to market it, sell it, support it, scale it. And what do we hear from them? I don't know. I'm just a developer. I'm not a marketing guy. And then a year later, it's like, the whole thing's shutting down because I can't support it. Well, I don't get mad at you. In fact, I try to help you. And it's like, here's how you can market. Here's how you can think about positioning your product. So, I mean, we know how to do the product marketing and the business side of it. Is it not right that we can also take to Claude Code and develop these things? I'm not saying it's the end all be all of the current state, but getting something out the door, I don't think it's a bad thing. And that's just where we're headed. Fortunately,
all right,
or
so
unfortunately.
Tell us a little bit about this thing, Podloom.
Are you throwing it up on the screen?
I can do that. I can do that too.
Oh. Well, because it adds to the story here, right?
It does. It does.
And I won't spend too much time.
I want to make sure I spell that correctly. It feels like one of those domains where spelling it wrong could get me in trouble.
Podloomplugin.com.
Yeah.
So I'm obviously a podcaster for quite a long time. I use Transistor, transistor.fm as my podcast host of choice. And oftentimes, well, not oftentimes, all the time at the WP Minute, where we're drafting like the upcoming episodes. And our workflow was, okay, we draft the episode in Transistor, and then we go to WordPress and we create the page and the post and draft it and such. And I was like, I can really speed this up because Transistor has a great API, robust API. They support a lot of things from the actual SaaS software through the API. So I was like, let me just build a connection to pull in the embed of the episode for every post. And more importantly, because you can schedule posts in Transistor, let me pull in the scheduled ones. That way we can have the episodes there and draft them all out, and then pull in through the API, pull in the show notes that we post in Transistor, pull them right into the editor. So it started with that. And I was just like, let's support Transistor and embedding that and adding some cool features that you're not going to get because Transistor is not just covering WordPress. And then on the podcasting RSS side, like if you're not a Transistor user or you are a Transistor user, you don't want to use the API and you want to just use an RSS feed, you can put your RSS feed in from your podcast and it will just pull it in through your RSS feed. And if you're using things like Podcasting 2.0, it's a whole other discussion. I support those tags there, like chapters, transcripts, donation or funding tag, and so on. Is the site broken?
It might be.
I can't see how it could be. It's HTML. which was going to be part of my AI journey. Let me do it. Share
screen. It might be me. Like I said, I'm a bad speller.
There it is. I got up on screen. I got it shared.
Okay. There we go. Perfect. That's better.
So in perfect vibe code fashion, right? I knew you and I were going to be talking about a lot of this stuff today. I'm looking at our screen share and trying to see how this fits best. I'm just sharing the tab. Yesterday, I vibe coded this site. I got to stop saying that phrase, but you started. And I just HTML, right? Like I don't even have time for WordPress on this site.
Yeah.
Let me have Claude Code build the site. I provided a handful of screenshots. I let it pick the copy based on maybe we can get into this if we have time, but like as I'm coding with Claude Code, I'm actively developing support docs and blog posts. Like every time I launch a feature, I would also prompt it to write a support doc for it and write a marketing blog post for it. So I have this silo of content. So I just said, hey, look at this. Look at the marketing blog posts you've written. Look at the support docs you've written. Now build the website for me, or content. And it put the whole, obviously put the whole site together. It's just HTML. Drag and drop that bad boy right onto Cloudflare pages, and boom, site's live and quick and easy, right? And great as a landing page. I'm not saying this is a replacement for WordPress, but great as a landing page.
Yeah, but you do have pricing. How are you doing pricing? What are you using for?
So here's the experiment, Matt, since we're very early on. And this goes to my greater theory of what the hell is software worth these days when folks like me can develop it. The the current experiment, because this is all an experiment, but I use the plugin in production, is you can have the plugin for free. Go nuts, set it up. There's no limit. There's no I'm not blocking any features. There's no get a pro version, and this pro version has more features. It is what it is. But if you're somebody who's running a podcast and you're just like, I know I got to use WordPress because it's great for my content site and my marketing and all that stuff, but I don't know how to set this stuff up. We just have a one-time fee. We set it up for you. Yeah. And my bet for a product like this is not to build this pipeline of features, and I'm constantly balancing a license with a pro and a free and doing that whole thing anymore. It's just, if you like the plugin and you need help setting it up, because I know in the podcast world, that's a big thing. Like a lot of these people are super non-technical. So that's the bet, right? Yeah. My bet for this is maybe you don't want to set it up. We'll do it for you. In the future, I'll add some more services to this on the back end. But for now, it's just if you just like it and you want it set up, you're scratching your head with WordPress, we'll launch it for you.
I love it. All the product folks who are listening in are being like, but how are you planning to support this thing?
Right. Support, you mean code or the product, or
technical support?
Yeah, the technical support. Again, limited in scope, right? I'm not foolish. I'm not building a plugin that's doing, massive data tables in your WordPress database. There's no e-commerce transactions here. There's not a lot of critical stuff happening other than can it pull the stuff in from an RSS feed or an API from Transistor. So the bet is hopefully low on the emergency scale, oh my God, something's broken.
So your plan is don't have any support tickets come in.
Don't have any support tickets come in, right? And not be, out of my mind with vibe coding, building something that I literally am too afraid to get in front. I wouldn't build a e-commerce tool or something that was going to take payment, because I'm just that's way out of my league. Yeah. But as we try to get this off the runway, maybe if it's actually kind of working, maybe there's enough funds there to go back to somebody, to a real developer, to check this stuff out and make sure that our support will be as low as possible.
Yeah. All right. So brass tacks on Product Talk today. We are using I always forget the name, Simple Podcast plugin.
Seriously Simple Podcast plugin.
Seriously, there it is. Seriously Simple Podcast plugin. And it has a player in it. Can I just swap out your player with their player? Can I use your player instead of their player?
You won't be able to swap. I haven't built any kind of migration. You'd still have to go through and change all of the.
Oh, you're creating the pages based on the RSS.
No, you'd have to put the block in. You'd have to put the Podloom block on those posts. Right?
Oh, I see.
So Yeah. So if you have like all these pages for your episodes, like 200 pages, and they all have the SSP block in it, you'd have to go and replace that. I haven't built any kind of like migration tool for that or anything. But you could effectively use your RSS feed to pull right into the Podloom podcast player.
Interesting.
This is why it's important to have your own podcast host with an independent RSS feed from your WordPress website.
Wait. I thought I was doing the smart thing by having my RSS feed be my own thing. Go into that.
Like if you're an absolute purist where you're like, I gotta own this RSS feed, then sure, it is. However, the podcast hosting companies, number one, aren't very expensive, right? So Transistor's like $179 for the year or something like that. And just like a managed WordPress host is going to care about the health of your WordPress website, podcast hosting companies are going to do the same with your RSS feed and make sure that it's got all the features in that RSS feed and that it's able to be distributed to any other directory that supports RSS. So there's a level of like support and management there.
Yeah.
And if you ever want to like, I don't know, change your website or migrate the website, you are not going to disrupt your podcast feed.
Yeah. Co-host Zach Katz is in the comments, and he agrees with me. So I'm going to go with that for now.
Zach hasn't seen the support tickets like I have at
also, looks like you're going to have some competition because Devin Walker's also in the comments, and he says coming soon to Jetpack podcasting. Boom.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they do have Pocket Cast, and they did invest in the company that I work for back in the day. So it only makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And I'd have to like bloat my website just to run a podcast, and we don't want that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm kidding, Devin. I'm kidding.
Not actually kidding, but let's talk about my little thing that I've been experimenting with. Synced pattern pop-ups is something that I built with Cursor. Now, I will say, people give me a hard time because I'm a Windows user. I love being a Windows user. I'm never going to be a Mac fan, Apple fan, whatever you guys call yourselves today.
I'm dual. I have a Windows laptop.
Nice, yeah. And I'm so far not a Claude Code person. I'm a Cursor guy. I like Cursor.
Where you've gone wrong.
What?
Claude Code is just amazing.
Yeah,
go ahead. I'm interested.
I think I'm missing out. Honestly, I keep seeing a lot of people doing amazing things with it, and I'm like, I think I could do that with Cursor, but I don't know for sure. But anyway, I built all of this with Cursor, and I love it. And I was able to build in all kinds of good guardrails and things like that. I actually want to bring up right now. I'm a little bit nervous that I can't bring anything up because I couldn't bring up Matt's site earlier. Oh no, there he goes. This loaded, no problem. So let me try again. Share my screen. This one. Boom. So it's obviously a WordPress plugin, and this is the listing. And I'm not making a business out of pop-ups. This isn't going to be my meat and potatoes, folks. I don't know if that was clear to everybody, but I'm not coming out as a pop-up maker right now. But what I am doing is that, Devin and I, we built Give way back in the day. And a lot of folks think back to those times as like that was the if you build it, they will come times. If you ship a plugin on .org, you'll get active installs and you'll grow and you can make a business out of it. And nowadays, you talk to plugin owners, and they're like, "It is not like that. It does not work that way." Well, I mean, I'll tell you that back when we launched Give originally, I had lots of plugin authors tell me exactly that same thing. They were like, at that time, this was 2014, 2015. They're like, "You can't just build a plugin and it works and make a business out of it." Nobody thought that back then either. And that's what folks today don't think about a lot. I do think it's gotten harder. The space is just crowded. There's 65,000 plus plugins on the repo now. And there are tons of them that are monetized to death. We are nickel and diming our WordPress audience to death with charging them with every single little tiny piece of functionality. And I do think it can be problematic overall. But I was like, you know what? I need to know what it's like to launch a free plugin again and see what goes on. I don't have a website for it, so I'm not even having any data. My only data I have is active installs. And after, well, I launched it. When did I launch it? Last week? Yeah. So it's been like almost 2 weeks now. And look at this, a magic fewer than 10 active installs. um, and that's what everybody's experiencing. I talk a lot with Leslie Sim. She has a free plugin
Koi.
called Event
Koi
Koi
events.
Lite. Am I
Event
going
Koi.
to guess it right? Almost right. Um, and it's a great little events calendar plugin. And she is also at fewer than 10 active installs right now. I talked with her about it a little bit. If you look at the advanced view here, you'll see that lifetime downloads, 714 lifetime downloads so far. Not a ton, but right here, every single one of these peaks coincides with when she shipped a release. And it's clear as day that she's got at least between 20 and 30 active installs right now. So I do think that folks who are in this nebulous land of fewer than 10 active installs, you just got to wait a little bit longer. There's definitely something weird going on about how they calculate those things.
Yeah.
But other than that, I also really wanted to just get hands-on with some of the guerrilla marketing things, because marketing is just different nowadays. Sorry, let me go back to the right thing.
I thought a URL was a bare minimum in the submission process of a plugin, and then also talk to us about the submission process for a free plugin, how that was compared to when you did it years ago. But I thought you had to have a URL to point back to.
I just pointed it
Like,
to my personal website, mattcromwell, and that's where
oh,
this
okay.
goes right
Oh,
now.
okay.
This goes to, no, actually, it
Okay.
goes to my WordPress profile. That's funny. I need to work on
Yeah.
that. I just did mattcromwell.com for
Okay.
the URL. And the process was, like a lot of folks have been saying, there was like 350 plugins in the queue when I submitted it. And I got one piece of feedback, and they were totally right. There was some stray special characters that were left over in a couple files. Oh, and there was a weird log that Cursor had put in there when I was doing debugging. It had like a file get contents for debugging purposes, and you don't do that in WordPress. File get contents is bad.
Yep.
So they were right, and I cleaned that up, and I submitted it again, and within the next day they approved it. So even though it took a long time to get to, I mean, it took like, I don't know, it wasn't forever, like maybe 10 days till I got my first response. And then once I submitted the fix, it was another day. So I was up and running in about 2 weeks. So,
Did you run it against the plugin checker
oh yes,
plugin?
yeah, that's what I
Okay.
also loved about doing everything in Cursor. I had plugin check in there, and I had PHP I had WPCS in there, and I added a whole bunch of rules in Cursor to say every single time you make changes, you got to go against these things and make sure that things are working. I def it's it That's why I also, this isn't vibe coding, because I took a lot of time and intentionality to set up my environment in a way that I felt like I was going to get a good quality result out of what I was doing.
Yeah.
I still had to deal with the fact that sometimes I would tell it to do things and it would change something that happened earlier, and that drove me nuts. And so I started creating more rules about those types of things. And honestly, I think all of my Cursor rules are in my GitHub repo if anybody's interested.
Yeah.
But
But you said you're not trying to monetize it, or you will be trying to monetize it? 'Cause I feel like you're headed down the path of, like, that typical, like, I saw you do a integration. Obviously, you're tweeting about it and socializing about it. So, is there a monetization play? Is it supplement to Cromwell Media?
not right now. It's all about freemium marketing experimentation. I think
Okay.
if this took off and got 10,000 active installs, then I'd start thinking about like how I might monetize it.
I know a guy who can buy you 10,000 active installs by Monday.
Fortunately, I don't think WordPress.org operates like YouTube yet. But you know what? There's a couple. If you go, what I love also, there's a couple of folks who have been talking about how the repo works. And if you go to browse/new, you'll see all the newest plugins, and you can cruise through here and see how everybody is like fewer than 10 active installs. So these are all the newest plugins right now, and they all say fewer than 10. But if you keep going through here, you'll get to one. Actually, let me look it up. Hostinger recently launched an email plugin. There it is, right there, and it's got 800,000 active installs. Amazing! A hosting company with a free plugin with 800,000. I'm not like color me shocked.
Yeah.
And they launched this in August, right? I mean, that is
Those
what
downloads
you
per day don't
do.
even look like they add up to 800,000.
Yeah, no, that's the other thing. There's no way that these downloads represent 800,000 active installs.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there, no way, not even possible. So
Mhm.
if all those 800,000 are on hosting your websites, which is for sure what's going on, it looks like they have a conversion rate of users of like, you know, what is that? 0.5% so far of that
Mhm.
800,000 is getting actually using the plugin. You know,
Mm.
so if you're looking for ways to increase your active installs, get buddy with a host and have them ship your plugin every single fake website that they have.
This
Uh,
is distribution is the moat, right? This is the thing in WordPress, right? When people say like, "Oh my God, WordPress is going to go away, it's going to get dethroned and all this other stuff." I mean, sure, anything is possible, but WordPress has just a insane distribution channel. Just like Automotive or any other plugin company that has an in with a hosting company. Like distribution is key in this stuff. I'm curious, are you I know you're always experimenting. You're looking at this as an experiment. I threw some LinkedIn jabs this morning. I mean, I think we do pretty good together. You and I, in this internet banter. I'm following you on LinkedIn. I'm throwing you little jabs about viewing source and stuff like that. um, where does AI sit for you in this experiment on the marketing side? Are you using it to think new ideas for you, pitches? How do you leverage AI in this for the marketing?
I generally like you can ask AI for ideas and like directional things. I don't think real marketing insight happens in AI right now, and I would say thank God for that. But um, it is amazing with content, and the same thing with the way I treat Cursor in terms of really setting up my environment for with really strict guardrails. I do the same thing with all my content. I have projects in ChatGPT, and I'm experimenting more with gems with Gemini, where you set up project files and you do a really heavy custom instructions. I have a tone guide. It's like a Cromwell tone guide, and then I have another anti-guide, which is don't sound like AI, which is all these rules that I pull from all kinds of places that make AI sound like AI, and they say don't do any of these things.
Yeah, throw a
Um,
transcript of the Matt report in there and say, "Never sound like this."
Yeah, exactly. And I run it through those things. It works great, but I always do a process where I never say write me an article about blah 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 or write me a PR piece for this thing or write me a tweet or whatever. None of that. I always say I need to do this thing and I need your help and I want you to tell me the approach you would take. Like I always come into it backwards. What kind of approach would
Yeah,
you take first if you're going to do something like this? It'll tell
yeah,
me its strategy, and then I'll say, "Not bad. Do it like this instead, and show me an outline." And then it'll change it up. And it'll give me an outline. I said, "Outline's not bad. I want it like this instead. Really focus on the transitions. Conclude with a strong CTA." And then it'll give me the updated outline. And then I like the outline, and I say, "Give me a draft." And the draft is way better than what I would have drafted if I had written it by myself, even though it maybe took me like a half an hour. Like this doesn't take me 5 minutes, it takes me like a half an hour. And I love it. It's a great draft. And then I still rewrite the whole damn thing. Like,
yeah, yeah,
but it to me, I get to shippable, something shippable, meaningful, articulate, persuasive, way faster than I ever did ever before.
yeah. Yeah, you know, the perfect, I haven't hit the perfect stride on the, I mean, it's short of like the Podloom website that I threw together yesterday. Like I just said, you just write it. I just want to get this launched before Matt and I get on a phone call. I often find myself like building out like the context of rules and all this stuff, generally in the marketing stuff in Claude Code. And then I just find myself always just like, I read through it. I'm just like, I just gotta write it myself. like I never like even use chunks of it. Um, it's funny, like so like I love it for that ideating, and I do want to find a way where it's just like, how about you just talk to me while I'm writing,
Yeah.
and maybe like maybe a product like that exists, and I don't even mean like I don't want to like have it like copy paste analyze and all. Literally want it to be talking to me while I'm writing this stuff, so that I can just have like that coach on the side, um, to like spitball with. So I haven't found that perfect thing. I did often like last year. So I have the podcastsetup.com, which is a podcast newsletter. And I did this whole video on using the value of transcripts for a podcast, right? So podcast to me, like when you're building out this body of work, it's not just about the audio, it's not just about you publishing that episode, it's about that transcript and like all the stuff that transpired during that conversation, and you can pull so much data out of it. So I built this tool with AI to analyze the year's worth of the show called Pod News Weekly Review by James Cridlin and Sam Sethi. They're sort of like the leading news guys for podcasting. And I built this analysis of like all the brands they mentioned, all the names they mentioned, all the technology, and it built this whole report. And to fast track it, I took that whole transcript of me talking about it and I said, now write this as a blog post. So it's like a 10 or 12-minute video. I said, now write this as a blog post. And I thought I did a pretty good job. And I sent it to James from Pod News Weekly Review. And he was just like, hey, he's like, I'm definitely going to feature your video because it's awesome. And what you built was awesome. But the blog post sounds way too AI for me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but that was 12 minutes of me.
Yeah.
It was 12 minutes of me
Yeah.
talking. I just happen to say like, I ain't got time for the rest of this stuff. Turn this into a blog post. And even that was just, and it felt kind of weird. I don't know where I was going with that, but it just kind of felt weird because like, no, it's actually 12 minutes of my words. Just compressed down to like 500 words in a blog post, but
Yeah.
it is what it is.
We had a couple actually really good comments here in the thread here. It's actually a good conversation going on. Hold on one second. Let me see.
Better than this conversation?
Oh, no, it just adds. This is a good one. Nurture Kit says it's AI assisted development, Matt. Forget the vibe moniker. That's a good one.
Jason Resnick about to watch the Patriots win another Super Bowl.
I didn't know who that was. Jason Resnick. How you doing, man? Haven't seen him in a long time. AI assisted development. That's a much better term. I like it. Zach again, co-host, says, I don't think Cromwell can restrain himself from eventually monetizing.
It's the problem with Matt's.
It's probably true. It's probably true. But we'll see. And they're all giving me a hard time about choosing cursor. We got Brian Cords in the thing here. He's being surprisingly polite. Claude Code feels way better than cursor. Fine, whatever, Brian. But I haven't touched cursor in a few months now. I love it. Jason also says you can use Claude Code in cursor, which I kind of have a little bit noticed that, but have also ignored it. But good stuff. I appreciate the conversation.
Yeah, the Claude Code stuff, just real quick, like I'm not on the $200 plan. I'm on the $100 a month, and it seems I do hit limits sometimes, but it's not often until I guess I really push it. But I can feel the difference as the day goes on, and it almost feels like, how human is that, right? Like when I start the day with my coding companion, they are ready to go and they are knocking tasks out of the park. And literally by 3:00, I'm just getting like, I'll ask it to do something. And then it's like, wait, it's consuming tokens, and Claude Code, has the amount of time passed. And sometimes like I'll tab over, I'm doing something else. I'll go back, it'll be like 23 minutes. And I'm like, all I asked you to do was to like update the README file. What's happening right now?
Seriously.
So like, it's crazy to like, it's almost like a human in that way. By the time it's like 3 o'clock, you're like, I just want to go home. Like, I don't want to be coding anymore, Matt.
Absolutely. It's amazing. I love doing another one why I like Cursor. I love putting it into plan mode and saying, draw up a plan where you're going to build out this feature and I need it to be X, Y, and Z. It draws up a whole markdown file that says that breaks things up into different phases. And I will often tell it, I want to build this out one phase at a time. So after you do phase one, stop and I'll troubleshoot it. And we won't continue to phase two until I'm satisfied. I really like doing it that way. And
Yeah.
it has really got tons better results in the end when I do that.
Yeah.
Brian, in the comments, I don't know if I could do that with Cursor. No, with Claude Code. I guess I can. I'm sure I can.
You could,
But
yeah.
I love doing it that way for sure.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, this has been great. I feel like we could, shoot the proverbial shit continually for a long time and people would still be entertained.
That's right. Not thousands of people, but dozens. Anyway.
All dozens of the people in the comments have been entertained this whole time until I spend $50. I'm going to spend $50.
Yes.
And then
But there are
thousands
channels
of bots are going to be entertained.
Yes, there are channels you can go to, which will get you thousands of views.
I love it. Well, Matt, thanks so much for this multicast product talk and the WP Minute. Folks, do the WP Minute a favor and hit the subscribe button. Do Product Talk a favor and hit the like button. And we'll see you all next time.
That's right.